Hi class! Welcome to Flipped Classroom, Notes 1.4, Subtracting Integers. Today we're doing California Standard NS 1.2. Remember, you need to write all of the part that's in blue in as your title. Today we don't have any vocabulary, simply directions. I would like you to copy the steps down of the directions. Remember, you do not need to write down the objective, just the steps. So our objective is to understand how to subtract integers. Subtracting integers, you add its opposite. And how we do this is skip it, change it, change it. So, in the example, 3 minus 7, we skip the 3, change subtraction to addition, and then change the positive 7 to its opposite, negative 7. So now we have 3 plus negative 7, and we're adding a positive and a negative, which means we're secretly subtracting. Your answer is negative 4. Now, I know these steps seem really simple, but students tend to make a lot of mistakes, particularly when they're changing subtraction to addition and then secretly subtracting again. And the reason that those mistakes are so common is many students are rushing. So make sure you take your time. Okay, let's take a look at our first teacher example, pencils down. The directions here would like you need to subtract. So we've got negative 49 minus negative 7. Skip, change, change. Negative 49 stays negative. Subtraction changes to addition. And negative 7 becomes positive. And now it's a simple addition problem. We're adding a positive and a negative, so we're secretly subtracting. Negative 49 minus 7 is going to be 42, and the answer stays negative because negative 49 has a greater absolute value. Problem B, negative 15 minus 36 is going to change to negative 15 plus negative 36. Now we're adding two negatives, so our answer simply becomes more negative. Negative 51. Okay, now we're going to take a look at student practice 1. Please go ahead and find the difference. Remember, the first step is to skip, change, change. Once it's an addition problem, you can follow the rules from notes 1.3. Go ahead, do the problems. When you're finished, press play to see the answers. Okay, welcome back. Let's go ahead and take a look. When you skip, change, change, we now have our addition problem here, and we know we're secretly subtracting because one is positive and one's negative. And our final answer is negative because the negative 57 had the greater absolute value. Problem number 2, again, skip, change, change. Now we're adding two negatives, so our answer gets more negative, negative 22. Problem number 3, skip, change, change. We've now gotten rid of the negatives, and it's a simple addition problem. Again, number 4, skip, change, change. We have a positive and a negative, which tells us we're secretly subtracting, and our final answer will be positive because the positive has the greater absolute value. Okay, take a look. Same idea. Difference on this problem here is that we have variables. So before we can begin working with these negatives and subtracting and skip, change, change, we need to plug in our numbers. So instead of x, we need to plug in 19, and instead of y, we plug in negative 41. Plugged in our numbers, now we can begin skip, change, change. This is a little trickier, so I want you to watch out. You skip the 19, change the subtraction into addition, change the positive into a negative. Then, staying on the 33, we skip it, change the subtraction into addition, and change the negative into a positive. And this is where, again, a big place for mistakes. Students tend to try to change the 33 back into a positive. Once you've changed it, you have to leave it alone. Also, remember, you can never start skip on a operation. Skip always starts for the first number. Okay, so that's a little tough. Skip, change, change, skip, change, change. Okay, and now there's several different ways you can solve this. The easiest would be to add the positives together. 19 and 41 makes 60. And now we can secretly subtract, knowing that our answer is going to stay positive because that positive 60 has a greater absolute value. Go ahead and try these three now. Remember to press play when you're ready to see the answers. First problem, number 5. Skip, change, change, and secretly subtract. Number 6, skip, change, change, and add them together because they are both negative. Number 7, now this one's just like the last one that you did. You want to plug in your variables, replace your variables with those numbers. Then skip, change, change, pause, skip, change, change. Now we have 2 negatives and 1 positive, so I recommend you add the negatives together, combine those. And then you can secretly subtract, knowing that your answer will stay negative because the negative has a greater absolute value. Final teacher example, which numbers are closest together on the number line? So, the easiest way to do this visually is actually to draw a number line and see how far apart they are. Okay, if you take a look here, you can also work with the absolute values and set it as a subtraction problem. So, again, the number line is the most visual way to do that. If that's what you prefer, you may do so. Otherwise, if we take a look here, we're subtracting these two numbers, 10 minus negative 2, and then we're going to find the absolute value of our solution. So I skip, change, change, and get 10 plus 2, which is 12, and the absolute value of 12, of course, is 12. Okay, subtracting these next ones here, negative 13 minus 7, skip, change, change, and I get negative 20, and of course the absolute value of negative 20 is 20, so that means those are 20 spaces apart. Okay, again, subtracting, I need to skip, change, change. Now I'm adding a positive and a negative, so I'm secretly subtracting. I get negative 26, and the absolute value of negative 26 is, of course, positive 26. Last problem, skip, change, change. 3 plus 8 is 11, and the absolute value of 11 is still 11. Now, closest together would mean they have the smallest distance between them, so D would be the only possible answer because they are only 11 spaces apart. Go ahead and try student practice 3. Again, you may use either method, either drawing them out on a number line or subtracting them. Remember, if you do use the subtraction method, you need to find the absolute value of your answer. So whatever answer you get, you need to find the absolute value and make it positive. So we take a look, number 8, you should have gotten 25. Number 9, 11. Number 10, 8. And number 11, 14. Okay, hopefully you did all right with those. That's the end of our flipped classroom for today. Please remember to make sure you do the quiz on your notes paper. Make sure your notes are complete with all 3 student practices. If you have any questions, make sure you let me know. And remember, you can also rewind if you need to rewatch.